Hi guys, JChownGolf here with JChownGolf at Croydon Park Golf Club at Essex, and today what we're delving into and talking about, we're talking about how to get shaft lean at impact and how to do it naturally, because there are two things you need in your golf swing to be able to do this naturally, and most people who are trying to get shaft lean don't know any of these. So you just knowing these will really help your chances of being able to compress that ball properly. And of course, I'm going to show you a drill to do as well to really make sure this is sped up with its learning process and you can really get that good feel with shaft lean. So all you need to do is practice and it will get there. So if you're a guy who absolutely balloons that ball up in the air, you hit it sky high, you hit it way shorter than you think you do, you might be losing a good 30 yards just from adding loft in there. This is your video, so make sure you stick around for the whole thing so you'll make sure you know exactly how to fix it and the drill to be able to really get in there as well. So before I get into that video, guys, please make sure you like the video. It helps my channel out a ton. It can help get this video out to more people when we need proper information on YouTube golf wise to get out there to more people, not just simple tips. So, and as well, if you want more golf videos as well that is instructional, nice, easy to understand, maybe complicated topics but broken down, easy for you to understand and get in there, JChownGolf is where it's at, so please click that subscribe button. So, shaft lean at impact. What is shaft lean? We know if you're searching this, it's getting that club, those hands to be leading at impact, those hands being ahead of that ball, that shaft leaning forward. Why we want to do that is because it's going to de-loft that club, it's going to make you hit it a little bit longer. That's how the guys out there on tour hit their, their 200 yard 7-irons at times. That, and of course, they swing it quite fast, but if they didn't lean that shaft, they wouldn't be hitting it that far. Helps you compress the ball. You'll be more in control of your golf ball totally, and more options for what you can do with your shot if you get shaft lean as well. So it's a massive thing in there. So just like I said on that intro, there are two things that you really need to do to be able to rotate, or yeah, well, that's one of them, to be able to hit that shaft lean shot where you're knocking down that ball. So first one, yes, rotation. You need to rotate in there. You can't just shove your hands forward at impact. That's one of the biggest things I see people do wrong, is they will try to get shaft lean and they think, right, shaft lean, I need those hands forward at impact, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and force those hands forward. That won't work. One, you might get some shaft lean doing that, but two, you will not hit the ball anywhere like you want to. What happens when we just try to shove those hands forward without doing anything else with our body, we will get those hands and arms very disconnected from our body, and that will get the hands pushed out more in front of you, which at impact will cause a shank. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to be shanking the golf ball. What we do want to be doing, we want to be, yes, rotating through that ball. We want to be rotating to create shaft lean, because if you just watch me rotate here, I'm just going to do it very slowly, doing nothing with my hands and arms, nothing at all. I'm rotating, I'm doing nothing. You can see I'm at impact now, nothing with my hands. Look how leaning forward they are. I'm rotating like crazy right now, way more open than I would be. So you can see that immediately is going to give me shaft lean. That's a very important thing to be able to do, is to rotate through that golf ball to be able to get that shaft lean. It's how you get it naturally, but it's not the only way to really think. It's not the only thing you need to be able to get shaft lean, because what rotation does and what shaft lean does. So rotation gives you shaft lean, but shaft lean actually as well opens up the club face at impact. So if I get over this ball here and I really shove my hands forward, if you guys can see, my club face is just going to get more and more and more and more open. Obviously, we only need that club face to open up or close, let's say. We need a tiny bit of change in there, and that ball's going to go all over the place. We don't need to do it big style for a big reaction to happen to our golf ball, as that's why golf is so difficult. So, us knowing that, right, we know, okay, shaft lean opens up the club face, and we know rotation creates shaft lean. So, if I'm someone who isn't getting my shaft lean, I could think, oh, right, if my, let's say, shaft lean is opening up, doing the opposite is going to close the club face, isn't it? If I lean the shaft backwards, that's going to close the club face. So you can imagine, you can think already there, if my club face is coming down into impact and it's not square, it's open, of course I'm not going to get shaft lean. If I'm wide open coming down and I get shaft lean, what's going to happen? That ball is going to go so far out to the right. I'm having an open club face coming down here and I'm adding shaft lean. That's not what we want to do. So what your body will learn to do And it will do this on its own because the brain is very, very smart. We will start to come down on our downswing with a very open, so probably more open than that, really open club face. Now what's going to happen, my body will stall at its rotation, but it will stall at its rotation for a reason, because it doesn't want to get shafting, because it'll make the ball go too far offline. So it's going to throw that club, it's going to cast it, really get that shaft leaning backwards to be able to square up that club face and hit the ball to target. But that will result in the very high one, and the one that just will not go anywhere. It just won't go down the fairway that far or off the tee that far at all. So we need that club face to be square to get shaft lean. We need the club face to be in a good spot coming down to where we can still rotate and that club face comes into the ball square. It's an absolute must. We can't get around that problem at all. But where I see this really go wrong for most people, and this is where it comes into a fix for that open club face, is something you guys have to know, is my most common thing I see on the lesson tee, whether it's for my in-person or my online coaching, is I'll see guys really rolling their forearms. Now what I mean by that is my left forearm rotating, so my underside of my forearm points towards the ground. If I have a neutral grip, so of course if you've got a weak grip, that will cause an open club face too. But with a neutral grip here, if I rotate that forearm, get the underside pointing downwards, you can see club face opens up massively, massively. And if I don't do something to be able to change that, I'm not going to get shaft lean. It's just not going to happen. So we need club face to be square first. It absolutely has to happen. So we know if I'm rotating that forearm, that causes that open club face. But we can also see how the left forearm gets higher than my right, doesn't it, when I roll that forearm. So I want to be thinking, right, I've got to do the opposite. I've got to get my left forearm going underneath and really being lower than my right. Straight away you can see how that club face is now matching my back angle, and that's my club face in a good spot, because I want that club face to be in the perfect spot going back, squareness wise, for you to have the best chance of it coming through. It's the most consistent way of doing it. So you can imagine if I'm here, now I've got that squarer club face coming back, coming into the ball. Now I can rotate, I've got the green light to be able to rotate and then get shaft lean, because it's not going to negatively affect my club face. So that's perfect. So we know club face. We now know that we've got to do that. We've squared that up. We've got that nice takeaway move. Left forearm is staying lower than the right. Club face is in there. There's loads of other ways to get that square club face though there, guys. This is just one of them, just one of them. So we know that's what we need. Now we just got to rotate. So we've got to really rotate. Our body will instinctively try to do it a little bit more for us, which will be awesome. It will manage and start to turn and open up more. But at the start, it still won't want to. It will be stubborn. It will still try to do and still try to do the same movement out of habit. So we've got to encourage that movement to happen. We've got to encourage the rotation. So the first part of this is going to be just a little feel, and that's going to be really making sure as we're coming through that golf ball, very nice and simple, that I'm getting my whole body. So I could be thinking of my belt buckle, I could be thinking of really my buttons here, so where my microphone is as I'm coming through, I'm getting that microphone or my buttons or my belt buckle to point way left of my target, because that's ensuring me, if I can do that, I'm getting through the ball and really rotating. So think of a Rory McIlroy finish, a nice full finish there. For me to do that, I have to rotate nicely through the ball to be able to do that. So that's a nice feel we can do to be able to rotate, really feeling like we're getting there. Our whole body is beating the, the club to the golf ball. That's really good for rotation, but this is where the drill comes into it. So I've got an alignment stick here. Now this drill is going to teach us, one, to be able to do everything we're saying, getting the shaft lean, but to do it properly, we have to rotate. This is one of my favorite drills for rotation, and that is getting this club, or getting this stick and pulling it down the left-hand side of my club here, and I'm gripping it so there's a massive amount of stick pointing outwards here. So if, let's say I do a bad swing and I don't rotate, I don't get shaft lean, what's going to happen? It's going to smack my side, isn't it? That's not going to be very fun at all. It's going to give you bruising all down your side. You're not going to want to do that. So what we've got to do, we've got to be able to rotate to get that stick not hitting our side. You can see how I'm really rotating through, and that stick isn't getting near me in a million years. So we know as well, if we get that square club face, it's going to help even more. So how we do this drill is we hit small half swings, just halfway back, halfway through, really getting through that ball. But we can think, right, we're doing this in half swing, so we can work on everything we just talked about in this video. We can make sure our club face is square. That's our backswing goal here, getting that nice square club face, left forearm being lower than the right. And then we're really rotating through, so we're not having this stick touch our side. If we really get through that shot, rotate through, it's not going to touch us, but it might touch us past the golf ball. So as we're coming through, when we're extending, that's fine. You may maybe get a slight bit of bruise in there from that, but we don't want it to hit us as we're hitting that golf ball. But yep, it might hit us a little bit past there, but you know what they say, no pain, no gain. So let's get through it. We want to be leaning that shaft forward. So halfway back, halfway through, getting good rotation. See there, it did hit me, but it hit me past the golf ball. So that was a really nice low one that just skewed out there. I mean, it only went 100 yards or so. It really just ran up there. That's all I want you guys to do at the moment, is hitting like these big pitch shots to get that feel, because you're going to be feeling a hell of a lot of shaft lean when you're doing this. Same thing again, halfway back, halfway through, getting that club face square, really rotating. Good, I mean, that was slightly heavy, but again, I'm getting my goal there. I'm getting through that ball. I'm not letting that stick touch me until past the golf ball, and that's going to be reducing a lower shot, so we know we're leaning that shaft forward. So we go one more, halfway back, halfway through, making sure my club face is square, and then I'm rotating. That was really good. Didn't have it even touch me through impact there, so perfect. So if you guys haven't watched any of my videos before, you know, even if you have, you know I like to do things out there where I'm getting to do a drill. So we're doing a drill, and then we're making sure we're integrating it with shots normally as well. So let's say if I had 10 golf balls, I would do 7 of them with my drill, and I'll do 3 of them without, creating the same feels on those ones throughout. That's how we can integrate it into our swing. So let's say I've done my 7. Now I'm doing some practice swings, feeling the exact same thing, making sure my club face is nice and square, and I'm rotating through. So, and then I'll go over to the ball, exactly the same feel. Well, if that ball stops, then I'll be really making sure I'm getting these nice exaggerated feels, even at that golf ball, and then exactly the same feel. I'm trying to get that stick not to hit me, but I'm imagining it. Again, that's a good shot, really exaggerating. You can see how I'm not even doing a full golf swing here, because I'm really trying to make sure I'm exaggerating this move, so I'm getting that shaft to lean forward, get myself rotating, getting the club face square, doing everything we said in this video. This is the thing where a lot of guys go wrong. You're trying to do it too full straight away. We've got to make it slow, got to make it small to start off with to be able to make the change in there. So here we go again. Nice other one. Let's say this is my 3rd one. And that was really good there. So I'm trying to do the exact same feel, making sure my club face is square, and then I'm rotating through, making sure that shaft or that alignment stick isn't hitting me on my side. So we can see, guys, there are 2 ways and 2 things you need to focus on to be able to get shaft lean naturally. Club face has to be square, have to rotate to get shaft lean. We can't shove our hands forward. We have to do it with the way our body will naturally produce it. And it's a great drill to do for you to feel it, but we have to know these core things before we do this drill. Otherwise, if we just shove those hands forward going through there, it's going to be a disaster. So we've got to know that before we get into that drill. That's why this drill is at the end of the video. So, oh, down it goes. It's very windy here today. So if you guys like that video, please press that like button. Obviously, it really helps my channel out a ton. The more you like, the more it gets these type of videos out to more people. So please make sure you click that like button. And if you want more golf videos just like this, where I'm breaking down a common problem, making sure you understand it, and then a drill for you to do afterwards, because if you understand it and you've got a good way to practice it, you're going to fix the problem. It's absolutely guaranteed. So if you want more videos, there's plenty more like this on my channel, and there's plenty more to come. Click that subscribe button and hit that bell button to be notified as well when I put out a video. You won't be disappointed. So guys, 2 keys to be able to get that shaft lean. You've got to do them to be able to do it. As soon as you do that, apply that drill, you're going to be getting that shaft lean in no time whatsoever.